now anytime we get to talk to the man, the myth, the legend,
Yeah.
who I hope, knock on wood, I feel like he would have texted me had anything gone awry. Welcomed in the newest member of the Salisbury clan, greater clan itself, the one, the only Sean Salisbury. Good morning, friend.
How you guys doing today, man?
Good. How are you doing?
I am. If I was any better, I'd be illegal, man. I'm doing good. The first-time grandfather, which is weird to say, but nice, healthy baby boy, and stepdaughter's doing fantastic. So everything is really, really good, my man. I appreciate it. It's great to be on with you guys. No matter how tired you are, I'll tell you a real quick story. When I had my last child, my daughter, I can remember after my first boy, who was about 6, 7.5, was born 10.5, almost 11 pounds, 22.5 inches. He's almost 6'8" now. So natural childbirth with no epidural, which I thought, I talk about, if you didn't know how much you respected women, you walked out of there saying they're the greatest species in the history. Put an S on all their chests. Well, I remember, and this seems so insensitive, but I'm thinking, you want to talk about, I'm tired? What about the person giving labor for 15 hours, right? You guys aren't going to believe this. I came home. It was during I had to travel. I was doing television, right? And so I was traveling, and I came back home in the off-season from a trip, and it was a quick one, but I was exhausted. It was one of those where, I wasn't feeling well. I can't even remember the circumstance. But I remember going to bed that night, laying in bed, and we were close to having our third child. And I said, kind of jokingly, but man, I was, those when your eyes are burning tired, right?
Yeah.
I said, please don't let tonight be the night, as if it's like, hey, don't you dare have this baby tonight, because how dare, I'm tired.
Right.
And she looked at me like, I know you're joking because I know your sense of humor. And I was, and I smiled, but then I rolled over thinking, please don't let tonight be the night. Maybe tomorrow. And you know what? About an hour and a half later, dilated to 8. We better get our butt to the hospital. And we're packed and ready to go. So all those days, and my mom always told me, you're going to pay for all this. Your daughter's going to be the youngest, yes, and then you're going to go through life, and they're going to haunt you in a good way. And here we are. So grandson, the first one. So
that's awesome.
Exciting times, man.
Well, congrats on that, Sean. Do you I know the baby's obviously just born, but when the baby is, as they develop and being able to communicate, do you have your grandpa name? Do you have that picked out?
Well, my boys call me, and they call me Pops. I've always, or the Shonald, like when we did a special at ESPN for the Donald, we were getting ready to have, and all their buddies now say, well, you're the Shonald. So my kids will actually call me up and say, hey, Shonald. And I'm like, I'm your dad, right? Just in case you forgot about that. You know what? No, probably just Grandpa, I guess. Yeah. I don't have any, I've never had one of those, where Pappy or somebody calls, Gigi for Grandma and stuff. You know what? He may come out swearing at me, so who the hell knows, man? I don't know, but just it's no matter what's going on in your life, the second you hold a baby in your, it's like, now this is what it's all about. I know that sounds cheesy and emotional, but it really it gets me in my field. I really don't have one. Whatever, if you can't pronounce Grandpa and something comes out, as long as it's not dirty, I'm in, brother. So, everything's great. See, my dogs.
Wow.
Dogs are saying. Dogs are letting me know that hey, Pops is working. Yeah, I know.
You know,
there you go.
we never hear the dog.
That's
because you're always in the car.
Yes. Now you hear now you're welcome to my world. Babies, dogs, chaos, but it's organized chaos. I promise. And
so
try telling a 100-pound bully and another dog that they're not allowed to talk. Right? Yeah.
Well, for those that don't follow Sean on Twitter and don't live in the Houston area, I'd be remiss, since we cover everything, and we're going to get to football, of course. But you have had quite the week, Sean, that started, I think, with, I don't know how else to say it, radio stations going in different directions. You have been, I ain't worried about you. You're one of the people I don't worry about because your talent level, your work ethic, and then on top of that, you've been up, down, around, and through. But you seem to be, I read your post about your appreciation of being there. I know you were doing fantastic. The radio business is just rough right now, but I imagine it's going to free you up to do a bunch more things.
Well, yeah, it does. We've got a couple great businesses that are thriving right now, and that's not like a pat on the back.
Yeah.
You wait. And the ironic thing is, two of the businesses when we released have released our product one and opened a store in the last 2 weeks. So the good Lord throws blessings on your doorstep. And with my new show, live 1 o'clock Eastern every day, unpaved on YouTube, iTunes, Spotify, Rumble. It's awesome because it's everything I want. I've built the team, and you get to control it all. Listen, I had 8 years at Sports Talk 790 and with iHeart. I love my bosses. My team was fantastic. The people in the building. I've got zero other people around. Well, they can't do this. Listen, I get if it was for poor performance, which it wasn't, because we were damn good in the number one show. Two is if it was for somebody you just didn't get along with teammates, there wasn't anything, and it was shocking, but it really wasn't. I walked out of there 15 minutes later thinking this could lead to the greatest blessing because I was ready for it. I got a lot of things going. Not that I would have kept doing it. I signed a 2-year deal about 6 weeks ago, but I understand the financial side. I do. And if somebody, it would hurt me worse if somebody came, you suck and you're not any good. But when you know it is, and when the boss hates having to do it, but corporate financial cuts, it's not an excuse. I get it. And when you're a guy who gets paid more than other people, and I don't mean that arrogance, just a fact. And I think everybody should get paid more in our business. Our producers, everybody should. But I've been fortunate when you're in it that long. Normally, when they're going to cut costs, that's where they go, regardless of the success. And it's been a dominant and successful show. But you know what? I walked out of there. I'm blessed, and I am filled. It's not just hyperbole, filled with gratitude. 8 years, but I was ready. I was ready. Even though I didn't know it was coming, it hit me, and I'm like, there was a sense of calm. I don't know if I've had this much relax because I know what's coming down the pike, and I know that the show we're building here. And my age will come, but I'm not even ready to go jump at anything right now because I got other priorities. So I loved it. I love my bosses and my teammates and the coworkers. But after 8 years and it happened, I'm like, yeah, it sucks because the money. I wish everybody was getting paid big. But you know what? I was more worried and still am about my buddies that aren't going to be able to pay their rent in 2 months.
Yeah. Because,
in our situation, when you sign a contract, and I'm sincere about it, it chokes me up because I know at this time it just absolutely sucks for somebody who's got 3 kids and has no idea where their next paycheck. And that's not to blame anybody. It's corporate America. It's finances, and I get it. I have zero regret, and I have zero because I know I'm good at what I do, and I don't mean that arrogant at all because I prepare and I love it. I'm still passionate. I was when I was 25. But I'm more concerned about teammates of mine and people across the country that are friends of mine that got hit with it, and they're not sure where their next paycheck's coming from after today. So I feel bad for them, and it means a lot to me, and thank you for bringing it up. But I've got nothing but great things to say about iHeart and my bosses and my teammates, and it's just a moment in time, man, a moment in time, and I'm more concerned about those who are in a much more difficult situation than I am. I know what rock bottom looks like, and I know how to get out of it. I'm sure as hell willing to help anybody who needs it.
Hey, not for nothing. We got a slot at 2 to 6 p.m. in our afternoon drive open.
Well,
Just
I
saying.
will tell you this, be honest. And this is one when people ask me if I want to coach or go be a coordinator, and I've told you guys this.
Yeah.
With the right coach, right people, the people I love, yes. You tell your boss to call me.
Okay.
I'll give them 4 hours a day from here until they make me move. Yeah,
Hey.
I'm in. And I'll give them great radio because I know that market, and I've been with you two, the best in the business, for a while. So if you're not, and I'll take less money. Matter of fact, I was going to say I'll do it for free, but you damn well know I do.
Don't say that. Don't say that.
We got pizza certificates for you.
Yeah. Save it. You know how many of those I got in my drawer already?
We got good golf, brother. We got
That's
good
true.
golf courses.
Here's where I know I'm no. Oh, yes, you do it. Here's where I know I'm no. And you got great sports teams to go visit. Here's where I know when I'm no good. When a guy calls you up and says, we want you to sign a 4-year deal and we're going to pay you in pizza certificates, I'm screwed.
Oh, the pizza you can eat. Oh, my goodness.
Exactly.
All right, Sean. So if we transition here to a little bit of football, I'm curious. We do a rankings every week. If you were to pick, I don't know, your top 2 or 3 teams, or a third of the way through the season, it's been a little bit of a weird beginning of the NFL season. Who would you say is your number 1, number 2, number 3 team maybe right now?
Yeah, that's a great point. Isn't it really weird, guys, that we don't – I go through it every year. Every week we're saying, oh, this team's the best. Remember we opened the season Baltimore. Mm-hmm. Look what's happened. And we watched Buffalo the last 2 weeks, and they don't look impressive. Again, if Josh Allen doesn't dominate, it's like, how good are they? I mean, I'm going up and down the league thinking – and then you look at the 49ers, man, they were doing some great things. Can they survive without Fred and Bosa? I mean, it's crazy. I don't think we have a great team. But I also know on our bingo card, the two teams that I'd put at the top right now, just for the consistency of the way they're playing, it's a Colts-Buccaneers Super Bowl.
Wow.
Think about that. Now, we would have said Tampa in that division going to win it, right? Carolina's getting better, Atlanta's getting better, but they're the favorite. And the Colts, I'll be honest, I would have said Texans heavy favorites because of the roster, and they've won the last two. Tennessee trying to grow. We don't know who Trevor Lawrence and they are, so competitive. And the Colts with we thought a journeyman quarterback, and look at how he's fitting in. And I love the stories with Baker and Daniel Jones too. Both guys kind of kicked to the curb, really.
Yeah.
And both guys are responding, and leadership. Baker Mayfield's the MVP. Daniel Jones may be second right now. So those two at the top. And then I look around and say, okay, what's the next? Philadelphia is good. The Rams are good. The 49ers are good. Buffalo's good. They're not great. You'd be hard-pressed to find a solidified. Those two are at least in the conversation. Don't look now, but Kansas City's starting to play better. Detroit, obviously. I think the Bears are going to disrupt. They're not the top three. Seattle's a good team. I think there's a bunch of, a tie, like on a golf leaderboard, three guys, 8 teams tied at guys tied at -8. I'm putting the Colts at Tampa in the top, and I guess, depending on, Nakua's injury, probably Philadelphia because they know how to win. But are we sleeping on the Kansas City Chiefs as they get healthy? I don't know. But my two teams right now that I'd take because of the consistent play and the quarterback play and their physicality, give me the Colts and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the top right now. I think they've earned it.
So let me ask you this, because I know exactly what you're saying, and I think you're going to know what I'm saying when I come back to you. I have no argument against what you said with the Colts and the Bucs and how they're playing. That being said, you've played, you've watched, you've been around this game your entire life. I always have this game I play with Jason where I say, if you had $250,000 cash on the table, which way are you going? Now, I know you're bigger bucks here, so I'm going to change it to $1 million.
Well, remember, I'm working for pizza. Sir.
That's a great point. So if I had 4 Mountain Mike's gift cards on the table for you right now, would you pick either when it's all said and done, 17 games plus playoffs? Would you pick either the Bucs or Colts in the Super Bowl? Right now, if you say you had $250,000, I had to bet it. It had to be all in. Yeah. No, yeah. And that's sad, isn't it? Yep. Sure. I know that the body of work's like 6 weeks in. We would lean to the Chiefs, Eagles, Rams. We would. Yep. Buffaloes, we would. But in truth, now if the Super Bowl was next week, I'd say I'm picking these two because I believe the way they're playing. But that's such a great point. I love the what-if game that we play. But you wouldn't, because I think we still tread lightly. Is Daniel Jones really this guy? Yep. Baker, who's been this guy, guys, for about a year and a half, 2 years, I don't know why we continue to question him. And you know what both are doing? Well, Indianapolis is winning some games by some distance, but the Tampa Bay, when people say, well, they're only winning by a few points, they know how to win. When the Giants were winning World Series and Boch's team's winning 3-1, did we care? No, we just cared that they won. They know. I think there's something special about teams and bringing a team even closer together. It's one thing, you knock somebody out 42-10, but when you got to win 27-23, last possession, 3 or so weeks in a row. But you're right. At the end of it, are we saying, will these two teams be standing? I hope for their sake they're in that conversation, but I don't think a lot of people would because I still think we tread lightly. You look at the divisions or you say, well, we go through that. Yet their body of work's been impressive and they've beat good teams. And one thing with that, guys, we put Buffalo, we don't look at the schedule before their last 2 weeks. Do you know who their 4 wins are against? They beat a Baltimore team that's not any good. They beat the Saints, the Jets, and the Dolphins. And we put them at the top of the heap. Those are the 4 worst. Those are 4 teams that are 5 of the worst teams in the league this year. Yes. I mean, 3 of them are going to be picking in the top 5 more than likely next year. So it's kind of, we have selective, Josh is on there. They got to be the best. And I respect Buffalo, but they haven't played any tougher of anybody better than the doggone Colts or Tampa has. So you're right, though, Dave. $250,000, I'd say, do I have to bet it right now? Right. Let me see more body of work. But and I hope, but they're getting great play. And I hope for Baker and Daniel Jones in particular, too, because, we've seen Baker do this. I hope they sustain this because I like seeing guys when they're buried, still finding a way to breathe and get out. And instead of digging a shovel where they're digging the hole deeper, they're building steps on the side of that hill to get out. And both of them have done that. And you can tell their teams respond. I love buy-in, and they got it.
Sean, I want to ask you about the Niners because, look, this team has already been had a ton of injuries this season, whether it's been 1, 2, and 3 receivers, the Bosa injury, Kittle. But the one on Sunday, it just felt different when a guy like Fred Warner goes out, what everybody says about him, what he means to this team, and you played. So, everybody gets hurt. Everybody's going to say next man up. But from your playing days, from in the locker room to the plane to the practice field, when like that guy gets hurt, what does that do to a team?
Devastating. And I understand. Like I said, maybe we've talked about this, but I always laugh when, hey man, this guy's hurt, but next man up, we'll be fine. Well, I got to do. Well, when you lose Fred Warner, you're not fine. No. The next guy up's not going to be as good as Fred, or I'd have found a place for him as a 12th player on defense. So I'm devastated. It was a gruesome injury and devastated. He's one of my favorite humans in the league, and I think he's the best all-around defensive player in football, considering what he's got to do now. The edge rushers are always going to get the credit. Listen, I'm not getting through 3 edge rushers and Bosa not being one of them. I'm not getting through 2 linebackers and having Fred not be one of them. And I'm not getting through 10 defensive players where both of them aren't on the list. And I don't believe I'm getting through 2 guys without saying Fred Warner belongs on it. The leadership, you just don't replace even on the, where are you going? Trade. Who are you going to trade for? You're not replacing him. And the Bosa thing's tough enough. If you were to get heavy into the trade deadline and say, can we go grab Max Crosby or Trey Hendrickson for teams that may be moving from him because they're making a lot of money, which I wouldn't if I was either team. But the 49ers been good when they went out and traded for McCaffrey. Now, can they overcome and still win some games? Yeah. But it greatly depletes them. So now we got to ask, are they a Super Bowl team as they sit? And do we believe that they got all the elements other than a couple pieces to be a Super Bowl team? That's what the 49ers have to ask themselves. If they believe that, and they think, well, we can get close, are you willing to go trade and overpay for a linebacker? Because you're going to have to, because it's going to have to sting. If you're going to go get somebody, you're going to have to get anywhere near Fred's game, you're going to have to go get somebody that somebody's fallen off, say, we're willing to part with this guy, but it's going to cost you a first round or a second round. That'll hurt. And the same thing with Bosa. So how in are you willing to go? Or are you just going to say, we're going to stave them off, we're going to deal with what we got and be back at it? This is as devastating of injury. I guess Burrow to Cincinnati, although their defense, when he's out, there's no bigger injury to a defensive squad, let alone offense as well, in this league right now. He's as close to being a quarterback that you'd lose on defense as there is in a league. And I feel horrible for the 49ers, but more so for Fred. He'll be back, great player, but it's going to be really hard. You've lost 2 of the 10, 8, 5 best players in the league on defense. I don't see how you overcome this one. At least, you can, I guess, if you get a little lucky and get some help. But this one would be very, very difficult for me to stomach, and it already is, and I'm not even on the team. Hard to do.
Nobody can answer this question better than you, Sean Salisbury, joining us, a guy that carved out a career under center, dealt with injury, dealt with coaches that did or mostly probably didn't believe in you, weren't as patient. And when we talk about these teams, Daniel Jones, Baker Mayfield, when we look around the league, Sam Darnold, yes, Mac Jones, are at the same time, you've got Trevor Lawrence, who's been there, who looks like he's starting to come into his own, a Drake May, a Jordan Love. I don't know what to believe. Are they not sticking with these guys long enough, Sean? What is the lesson out of all of this?
Well, first off, we are ridiculous in our instant gratification that everybody's supposed to look like Mahomes does 6 years in when they're rookies.
Yeah.
He didn't look like it either. That's why he was on the bench till the last game of the season as a rookie. But even in their infancy, second, third year, this is it's not the hardest thing to do in sports. I would imagine have Randy Johnson throw you 103 and then throw you an 85-mile-an-hour hook and an Uncle Charlie for you to hit that. Yeah. Forget. And plus, I'm scared to death to stand in against the guy who when he unleashes, he's 4 feet from home plate, right? That's the hardest thing to do. But the hardest position to play in sports is quarterback. Not because I played it, but when you got to know all 22, fast moving, get the ball out, throw it accurately, lead, be willing to take the blame when your team sucks, and be willing to get all the things that come with playing the position. And we are ridiculous in our expectations early on. If we were, Jordan Love wouldn't be a Packer. We'd just run him out after 2 years because Aaron Rodgers was there and go. Sam Darnold, Sam Darnold would have been out of the league if he wasn't persistent and everybody knowing the guy can play and get with the right coach. One is they got to be coached properly, and not everybody coaches them properly. That I can promise you. And the mechanics of it. And then we got to see them in action more than 3 games or 5 games. And maybe is it a novel concept, guys? And I always laugh when people say, well, look who the players he has around him, great players. Of course he's good. Well, isn't that isn't that where all Montana had good players?
Mm-hmm.
Brady had some good players.
Yeah.
Manning had some good players. That's what we're all trying to get to. Archie Manning didn't have good players, and he would have been in the Hall of Fame. He would have. He got his brains beat in. But, you got to get a little lucky, too. We're ridiculous in our evaluation, and we got to allow it to happen. Now, there are some that these so-called expert evaluators and scouts and front office people go try to get, and quite frankly, they overdraft them because they're desperate, because they know a fan base. We got to get a guy. We got to get a guy. And then you throw them right in when your team's not good. And here's the craziest thing. Most teams drafting guys that high, their team wasn't good. So now he's going to be on a roster that's not good. And by the time the roster starts to get good, 3 years in, you've replaced him. It's ridiculous that we go through this, but that's where we are with the way the money is. And a lot of these guys, you just named three, Darnold, Mayfield, and Daniel Jones, would be either journeyman backups do it. Carson Wentz is even playing good football again. Think about this. So sometimes comfortability, proper coaching, change of scenery, and a little patience can be good. But you also, those guys ingrained in their DNA has to be some fight, because it would have been easy for those guys to say, screw this. Yeah. And they didn't. And here they are now. And I think, to me, anybody who gets kicked in the teeth and hits their rock bottom, whatever their rock bottom is, and comes out the other side, give me that guy more than somebody who's never had adversity. I'm going to beat you more than you're going to beat me. I'm good with the Baker Mayfields of the world.
Well, that's the time we have, Sean. The way I see it, I get off at 10. I could be on the course by 10:30. You and I play 9. We're done by 1:30. You're back in the studio at 2 for your 2 to 6 show. I'm going to have the boss call you. It's all about golf.
If the boss wants to elevate, I'm being a wise ass, but if boss wants to elevate 2 to 6 and get us on the golf course and offer me some Mountain Mike's pizza,
you're damn right.
I'm in.
You're damn right. All right.
I'm in.
Congrats, Sean.
Thanks, Sean.
We'll talk to you this week. Congrats.
Love
Love you too.
Appreciate you and your respect. Thanks, guys.
Appreciate you, brother. Bye-bye. That is that's Sean Salisbury. We'll take a break. One thing with Sean, he's always going to bring the energy no matter what the subject is, because he's a pro. Much like American Energy Home Pros. Why are they Home Pros and not American Energy Heating and Air? Yeah, because they now are heating, air, and plumbing. They're just your home pros. I think by the end of the year they should do housekeeping, maybe appliances. Just do the whole thing, one-stop shop. Right now, though, it's HVAC, it's plumbing, and they have been in business since 1981. This is a family-owned company, A-plus Better Business Bureau. Great people over there, great deals. They want to be your second opinion partner. They want to come in and see whatever bid you got from whatever plumber or HVAC person you may have called first mistakenly. And they want to beat that. They want to beat that. They want to save you money. Give them a call at 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990. Right now, 10% off any plumbing. And, of course, if you are a club member, 10% off of anything, HVAC, plumbing, whatever. AmericanEnergyAir.com. American Energy, making the uncomfortable comfortable. First coaching firing in the NFL. 4-down territory. We'll talk about that next.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?